today I want to share with you the secret of a great personal essay. The difference between a kind of monotone, droning, blah, 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 accounting of something about your life and a really engaging, personal, intimate, gripping story that a reader is really going to connect with. The difference between these two often lies in a writing move I like to call exploding a moment. So often when we are trying to write a personal narrative or personal essay, when we're telling a story about our own lives, we are conditioned throughout our childhood to start at the very beginning and tell every single little thing that happens until the end. But if you've ever listened to a little kid tell a story, you know that that can get long-winded. You know that not every detail actually matters. And that's where exploding a moment comes into play. When we explode a moment in a personal essay, we start from the big whole long story and we funnel it down into just one important moment. Just one important piece of that bigger story. Just one important event in that narrative. And then we make it huge by our use of detail. When we're exploding a moment in a narrative, we add dialogue, we include thoughts and emotions. We balance those thoughts and emotions with step by step by step action, and we add tons of sensory detail. Let's take a look at a micro-personal narrative written by Carrie Klein for the New York Times 100-word stories contest. While looking the other way, I rammed into the back of her car. "Are you all right?" I asked. "Yes, but I don't know about my car," she said without anger. "Are you okay?" Still in shock and worried about being liable, I noticed the slight damage to both our cars, then the sunflower on her dress. She's the type of person I could be friends with, I thought. I replied, "I'm all right." With mutual relief, we hugged spontaneously, then drove off our separate ways. My bumper was bruised, but my faith in humanity was restored. So in just 100 words, Carrie Klein is telling a whole story here, a personal narrative about a meaningful experience in her life. Now, she could have said, "I woke up that morning and ate breakfast and got ready to go to work, and then I walked downstairs and got my keys and got in the car, and I saw a neighbor walking her dog, and then I drove down the street, and then while I was looking the other way, I rammed into the back of her car," right? We could have gotten sort of the big whole day total story. But Carrie Klein knows that that's not really what's interesting or what matters here, right? Because a personal essay is always trying to build up to some kind of statement of, so what? So why does this event in your life matter? What is the meaning behind it? So Carrie Klein cuts all of that out. Now, she also could have done the opposite. She could have summed it up really quickly. "I had a car accident that morning on the way to work, but it was just a fender bender." But instead, she takes this moment and she explodes it. She makes it longer, richer, deeper, and packs it full of meaning. Let's take a look at how she does this. When I look at this micro-personal narrative, the first thing I notice is that it starts at the moment of action, right? We don't get all of that before stuff that doesn't really matter. It starts right at, "While looking the other way, I rammed into the back of her car." We know everything we need to know in order to be in this moment with her. I also notice right away that she includes dialogue. "Are you all right?" I asked. "Yes, but I don't know about my car," she said. "Are you okay?" And then I replied, "I'm all right," at the end. That dialogue helps us explode the moment by letting us hear what the characters are saying. I also notice that she includes emotions without anger, shocked, and worried. She balances those emotions with some thoughts. She's the type of person I could be friends with, I thought. And then actions. We hugged spontaneously. We drove off our separate ways. This is really important when we're exploding a moment, that it's not all thoughts It's not all emotions and it's not all actions, but there's a balance of those three things. I noticed that she's using showing and not telling through her sensory details. I noticed the slight damage to both of our cars. That's what she could see. She could see a sunflower on the other girl's dress. And then finally at the end, because this is a whole personal essay in just 100 words, we get to that so what? We get to that why does this matter? Kind of statement of the meaning of this moment. Because if it's not a moment that has a lot of meaning, it's probably not a moment you want to explode for a personal essay. Here, the so what is, my bumper was bruised, but my faith in humanity was restored. So what could have been long and boring and what could have been too short and skimmed over gets exploded in this moment and packed with details so that we're right in the story with her. And that makes us engaged as readers to really be invested in that so what by the end. Let's take a look at a couple of other mentor writers who are exploding moments in personal narratives. Now, those last two mentor texts that we just looked at are actually part of longer personal narrative essays. Those are linked in the description, so you're gonna wanna go find them today so that you can read the whole essay that they are a part of. Once you learn to explode a moment, then you can learn to explode multiple moments over time that link up with that same so what, or that same theme, or that same message. That's what gets us from these little micro narratives to longer full-length personal narratives, and then down the road, even to memoir, even to whole books, are really just exploded moments that are linked by a similar so what or a similar theme. So what moment in your personal essay could you explode? Where could you funnel your topic and make it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, maybe going from a big whole story where not every detail matters to just one significant event that you can really pack with details? How can you engage your reader? By exploding a moment with dialogue, thoughts, emotions, actions, so that you can engage them in that so what in the end. Thanks for watching Mini Moves for Writers. Please make sure that you are subscribing so that you don't miss a single writing move.